In these next few episodes, we'll show you what it was like to live off-grid on our 60-foot narrowboat through winter on the beautiful Llangollen Canal.
Straight into yours, yeah?
In this episode, we're heading to Ellesmere in Shropshire. This is somewhere that now holds some really sad memories for us, but also somewhere where we realise the true warmth of the boating community. We'll be travelling the stretch between Marbury Lock, Whitchurch and Ellesmere. It's a little different from our usual cruising videos, but we've tried to show you what life is really like in those winter months and how you have to deal with challenges that sometimes life throws at you. It's a really windy day and we're trying to decide whether to leave this lovely spot and cruise in the wind a little bit further, or just sit it out and wait for the wind to die down a little bit. But it's beautiful where we are. After the wind died down a little and the rain clouds left, we finally set on our way. If you've seen our previous videos, you'll know that Jasper, our 15-year-old Westie, had just been diagnosed with mouth cancer. This changed our plans a little as we wanted to be able to get him to a vet if we needed to in an emergency. Normally we loved mooring in the middle of nowhere, but we looked at the map and decided to base ourselves around Whitchurch and Ellesmere, both small market towns with a vet close to the canal. After a short 2-hour cruise, we made it to Wrenbury Locks on the edge of Whitchurch. You can see the strong bywash there on the right, and together with the wind, made it quite a challenge to get into the lock. You can see the facilities at the top of Wrenbury Locks marked there with a little house on the map. And after filling up with water, emptying our toilets and getting rid of our rubbish, we looked for somewhere to moor for the night. The next morning we cruised a little bit further just to try and get a closer mooring to the middle of Whitchurch. And we're lucky enough to find one at the end of the Whitchurch arm. You can see the arm there on the right of the screen. The Whitchurch Waterway Trust own this branch of the Llangollen Canal, and they are responsible for its upkeep and development. The trust was formed in 1988 to reopen the arm and promote tourism in the town. Coming from the Wrenbury Brook direction, the angle's too sharp to turn directly left into the arm. So you have to go up a little, turn around in the winding hole and then come back on yourself. And you can then make the easy right turn. You're limited to 48 hours on the arm, but as you can see it's a lot less muddy here than it is on the regular towpath. So when we saw a space come free, we took the chance to move the boat. and spent our time doing some odd jobs around the boat. Anyone who lives in a tiny space will know how exciting it is to find the perfect storage solution that fits. Ooh, that looks good, doesn't it? That's perfect.
Limbs.
The next job on the list was making sloe gin from the sloes that we'd picked at Sykes Hollow a few weeks previously. It's a really simple recipe with a pound of sloes, 8 ounces of sugar and a litre of gin. We just use the cheapest gin from Aldi. Mix them together and then just leave them for several months. After we'd had our 48 hours on the arm, we reversed onto the main canal again and headed back towards Gwynley Brook services. We travelled this short distance between Whitchurch and Gwynley Brook, about a mile, to use the services quite a few times over the winter. Most mooring spots change to 14 days over the winter period. However, we need to fill up with water and empty our toilets a lot more frequently than that. So we tended to move every few days. Once we had a full water tank, empty toilet cassettes and got rid of our rubbish, we turned around in the winding hole and headed back in the direction of Ellesmere. But ended up stopping in Whitchurch for one more night because there was luckily a spot right there for us. The next day we did the last stretch of the cruise from Whitchurch to Ellesmere. We'd learnt never to pass a water point without topping up, so we stopped here at Bettisfield. And if you look over there on the right, you'll see one of the bars of the fence missing. And despite being so sick, Jasper decided to go and have his own little adventure the other side of the fence. But we love one of the last photos of him, showing this true stubborn streak that he had. We'd had so many people tell us about the beautiful moorings at Blakemere, and when we cruised by we could see exactly why. But with the worry of Jasper and making sure that we were close to a vet, we decided to push on to Ellesmere itself. And we were so lucky that there was a spot right at the end of the Ellesmere arm. The next day our friends Paul and Anthony arrived in Ellesmere, and we were able to let them know that a spot had come free in the arm. But on a windy day it's really not easy to turn around at the bottom. enough to be in Ellesmere for one of the monthly farmers markets. And here's another famous vlogger you may recognise.
Are you on holiday? You're on a boat.
There's lots of other vloggers. There's Heidi on Narrowboat Pirate, and there's Gary and Nikki from the Sugarbug. And then there's Paul and Anthony there from Narrowboat Life and Lots. It's a bit of a vloggers meeting on a Sunday in Ellesmere. And after a lovely Sunday lunch in the pub, we went to explore Ellesmere a little more. Aren't these Remembrance Day postbox toppers amazing? Soon after we arrived in Ellesmere, Jasper declined really quickly. The vet that had made the original diagnosis of Jasper's cancer and the new vet in Ellesmere discussed everything, and between us we'd made the really hard decision that it was time to say goodbye to Jasper. He enjoyed his last roast chicken dinner.
It's a nice boy.
And we went to the beautiful mere at Ellesmere for one last walk. And boat life continued, and we understood exactly how supportive the boating community can be. And then one by one, we left this lovely small town to continue our winter travels. And you can see how much easier it is to turn a boat at the end of the Ellesmere Arm when it's not such a windy day.
I haven't got the numbers. Stay in touch. We will do. Safe journey. Enjoy the jolly.
It wasn't hard for us to decide where to go next, and we headed back to the absolutely beautiful Blakemere. This has to be one of our most favourite spots to moor in our travels so far, especially in autumn with all the beautiful colours. And after a few very peaceful days, it was time to move on again, but not before just a few more photos. And hurrying ahead to get the perfect shot. It was goodbye for now, but we knew it wouldn't be long before we went back to Blakemere. Thanks for watching, and please give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. And special thanks this week to Scott, who's supported our channel through Buy Me a Coffee. We're putting everything towards new audio equipment.